problems, worries, sadness? Are you seeking solutions?
Bible says,
Do not be anxious about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Choose faith over fear.
Hello and welcome to a time of excitement and inspiration. I am Manoj Sunny, and together with Shalom World, we'll take you through the journeys of a group of ordinary people in the Jesus Youth Movement who dared to follow an extraordinary call as a part of the full-time volunteer project, a project that has been instilling the missionary lifestyle in young people for the last 28 years. A project that has put 28 batches of young people, around 2,000 so far, through a 30-day intensive training and placing them in mission centers around the world for a whole year. And that's exactly why they're called God's crazy people. Today, we are going to meet a young priest who was ordained in December 2016, one of the first priests ordained for the Jesus Youth Movement. He's the son of late Devasahayam and Jansi Rani, born and raised in Vijayawada, India. He holds a master's in information systems and began his career as a software professional. In 2007, he decided to quit his job to attend the International Full-Timers Training. He received the Best Youth Award from the Regional Bishops Conference in 2009, and in the same year began his seminary formation. After completing his philosophy and theology studies in Pontifical Urbaniana University in Rome, he was ordained a priest for the Jesus Youth Movement in 2016. He is a part of the international formation team and pursuing his licentiate in canon law in Urbaniana University in Rome now. Father Das, a hearty welcome.
Thank you so much for inviting me for this interview. I'm really glad.
Most of us took a U-turn in our life when we had a personal encounter with the person of Christ. Could you please explain how was your beginning with the Lord?
When I was doing bachelor's in computers, I was involved in the parish activities, in the youth choir. And as I was singing, for me, I thought like it's just a singing, helping in the church. But slowly, people started telling me, thinking about priesthood. So slowly, I started becoming actively involved, knowing God. Then things changed when I told my father about my desire about priesthood. So by the time already it passed 3 years, I was into the master's and I finished my master's degree. Then my father asked me to wait 3 years. In that process, I came to Jesus Youth, and one day I heard a voice asking me some questions. And one question which really turned my life was something God spoke to me personally in my language, Telugu. The whole journey started with that. Like, what is this question is about? Jesus Youth ki enduku cheyatledu? In a literal translation can be, why not doing for Jesus Youth? Or why are you not doing for Jesus Youth? Something like that. So I want to know the answers, and the journey began from 2006, searching proper answer for this question. Then slowly I got answers and things changed.
You were working when you decided to take a break for full-timership. You resigned your job and went for full-timership. I think that was not an easy decision to make. Why did you make such a decision?
First time I heard about this full-timership in 2003 during National Charismatic Convention, which was held in Vijayawada that time. So I met one JY leader, Mr. Leo Tom. So we accidentally met, And he started asking me just like any other Jesus youth, asking, like befriending, trying to share Jesus and all. So he asked me, what you want to do in the future? I said, I am already in the masters, and after this, most probably I might join in the seminary. Then he said, like, why can't you take 1 year full-timership? I said, no, I want to join seminary, not Jesus. So I was trying to push it up. But when I reached Hyderabad, and as my father already told me to wait 3 years, and I was already involved in Jesus Youth, then there was one full-timer, Annette, from Rajasthan. That time she's from 15th batch, and her commitment place was in Hyderabad. So we both went with the invitation of Father Tom to speak with the Salesian deacons. And I was sharing my testimony. At the end, this girl, this full-timer was asking me, why are you speaking so badly about your dad? Because like we were very close, but once I told about my priesthood decision, my relationship with father was really become very bitter. So we stopped talking for years, at least 3 years. So every time I'm complaining only, my father is not allowing that, this, and why can't you say some good word? And she shared that during her full-timership, her relationship with her father was restored. And she said, like, whether you become priest or not, but there are so many things should be changed in your life. You take it up, full-timership. So that has inspired me a lot. Yeah, of course, I have a design, like a discernment and all these things. But I thought, yes, that is true. I don't have a good relationship with my father. So if this full-timership training can help me to have a good relationship with my father, I will take it up. Slowly, then this process started applying for full-timership.
Father, I remember I think it was in 2015, your father became seriously ill and he was studying in Rome at that time. And then you came back to India to be with him for 2-3 weeks time. And he passed away soon after that. So how was your relationship with your father at that time?
We have good relationship. He was convinced about my vocation, but he was somehow not able to accept it fully. So there was some bitterness, and actually my father went too far. He resigned his job to, in a way, to challenge me, to stop me, or maybe to pressurize me. I see only love in that, but he expressed that love little more different way. Even in 2009, when I joined seminary, he prayed over me, crying, and he sent me happily. But after, again, there was some kind of a rift between us. So even though I was trying to be so open, I was trying to be to make peace, but somehow like he was avoiding me. Anyway, in 2015, he became very sick. I was doing theology second year, and I got opportunity to come to India to stay with him. And by God's grace, after 20 days of treatment in the hospital, he was discharged and he came home. But doctors were telling that after a few days, most probably he might die, and it happened. So, but I thank God that we got a nice time before, and I could speak to him. He could share. Yeah.
Before we continue with further questions, I have a surprise for you. Joining us now from Hyderabad, India, Sister Mary P.T., belonging to the congregation of the Sisters of St. Anne of Providence. Sister Mary worked in the railway hospital for 33 years and retired as a chief nursing superintendent last year. Sister now serves as the animator of the Jesus Youth National Council of India and the animator of National Nurses Team. Sister Mary.
I still remember and cherish my first encounter with Vignan. It was in a charismatic prayer meeting conducted by the Archdiocese of Hyderabad. And during the prayer meeting, all the Bible references were answered immediately by heart by a young person from behind. I was so anxious to know who this person was. After the meeting, I came out and I traced out, and it was none other than Vignan Das, a Jesus Youth. I was so much taken up by his knowledge of the Word of God. He was so passionate in spreading the gospel. Being an IT professional, he used all his talents for the evangelization. He was the first person from Andhra Pradesh to record the Telugu Catholic Bible in an MP3 audio format when no apps were available in those days. And he received the Best Youth Award from the Andhra Pradesh Catholic Youth Commission in 2009. I also remember of another incident conducting a 3 days retreat for our candidates. I mean, candidates for the province of Central India of the Sisters of St. Anne of Providence. When the provincial asked me for the retreat, I contacted Vignan. He was working for an IT company and was on night shift. But for Vignan, it does not matter, night or day, he is ever ready for the Lord's work. He immediately said yes. There were about 20 participants. Vignan led them into praise and worship, action songs. He shared his testimony, also took some sessions. It was a wonderful retreat. Another moment I cherish is meeting him in JY South Asian Conference at Kerala in 2007. He had come from Thailand while attending his international full-timership training. During our conversation, he revealed to me of his discernment to join for priesthood. I was so happy and delighted because deep in my heart I knew that he had a vocation for priesthood. I thanked God and I continued to accompany him with my spiritual support. Now, Father Vignan Das, I have a question towards you. I know that you have done your international full-timership training in Thailand and your commitment place was India. Can you share with us some of your experiences that helped you to grow spiritually?
Thank you, Sister Mary, for the beautiful sharing. Father Das, I think that's a good question to continue with.
Full-timership, it was like a pilgrimage for me. God was taking me to different places and he was answering my questions one after the other. And during full-timership, God started speaking to me through Bible. That is true, like I used to read Bible, but during full-timership, it has become more personal. I remember in October, myself and Shanky, we both were central full-timers for India. We started our journey, but only I got the opportunity to go to the Junwani, one mission station. It was in Jabalpur diocese, which is in the central part of India. And when I was staying in that mission, almost like 2 to 3 weeks, God was speaking to me in different ways. Like he was answering my question. For example, like in that remote place, faithful, they were not sure about Jesus Youth full-timers. So they used to call me as a brother. Brother, he's a seminarian. So I used to tell them, I'm not a seminarian. I'm a Jesus Youth full-timer. And I used to tell them, I will become a seminarian, I will become a priest, and I will be working for Jesus Youth. And it was like something like which I was not planning anything, but it was very spontaneous. With different situations, God was trying to tell me. And when I was like growing in the Lord, it was like a gradual process, which was like God was speaking in different ways, naturally through Bible and through people. And the interactions with the elders, Jesus Youth elders, leaders, wherever I am going, because I got opportunity to interact many beautiful spiritual Jesus Youth family members wherever I was going.
When did you take the final decision to join the seminary?
From 2001 onwards, as I started being active in the parish choir, I had this desire, because this desire was put by my parishioners. You think about priesthood, but it was not that much clear. Then anyway, after 3 years, when I informed my father, he was not that much willing. Then that's how I started working. But after that 3 years, I have to give an answer to my father because he told me to wait 3 years and these 3 years are about to finish. So I was in a hurry to make sure whether this is the time. Then I was not that much. Desire is there, but that conviction was not that much. So I also want to make sure whether this is just a desire or it's a will of God. I was asking, Lord, in this year, you have to give me a clarity. You tell me. If you don't want me to become a priest, I'm fine. But give me the clarity. And God clearly through the Bible, He spoke to me. I also want to quote the verses. Jeremiah chapter 16, 1, 2, it says like, the Lord says, you shall not marry. Then I was also praying. Okay, then I was also praying and I opened again, like give me one more confirmation. Then God showed me Jeremiah 32:27. Nothing is impossible to God, and God is God for all mankind. I was like, this is nothing. Second verse was not that much appealing. Then I said, like, again, I will take Lord. So it was like a journey because, like, during that time, I used to have like a personal chat with God. So, and third time when I opened, God showed me Hebrews 7:17. It says the scripture says, "You will be priest forever," in the order of Melchizedek. It happened on 7th December 2007, almost 10 years before my ordination. It is the will of God, priesthood in my life, and also for Jesus Youth. So it was something some people were not able to believe, and it was also hard for me. But over the months, I was convinced.
Now you're ordained as a priest for the last 4 years. Is there any difference or like between the normal priesthood and a priest ordained for the Jesus Youth Movement? And how do you enjoy it?
Being a Jesus Youth priest, it is something like in Italian, it's like abbracciare, which means like it's like a hugging, like it's like receiving the whole church. Like wherever you go, you are a priest, and in Jesus Youth, we get a lot of chance to move on, like a movement, right? So it's like a experiencing Catholicity in a uh, in a very personal way. So I feel through Jesus Youth I got that, and maybe I can say that is also can be a difference between a normal or a regular priest in a diocese or a congregation or being a Jesus Youth priest. Like you are there for the whole world, the whole church.
Thank you very much, Father Das. It was such a joy to have you with us today. Your sharing has been so inspirational. May the Lord rain down His graces on you as you journey on with your studies and your priestly ministry. Thank you very much, Father.
Thank you so much, Manoj.
Friends, we are talking about a special call, and we are all set to meet a special person who can shed more light on this journey. So here is a special guest for the day, joining us all the way from Brisbane, Australia. He is one of the senior leaders of the movement, a father of 4 children, took a commitment as a full-timer in 1994, one of the first to be placed outside Kerala. He was the coordinator of the training for several years and now serves as the animator of the National Council for Australia. Let us welcome Reggie Kottagapalli.
Youth are always at the search of innovation. It can be negative or positive. They need to be challenged. They are not worried about the risk behind it. If I'm right, they are not attracted or happy with the routine, old way of or old style of doing things. When this project started, the attraction was that it really challenged them. It was a new idea, keeping away an year of their life to experience something new, which was in a way challenging because everyone else go for their job or look for their higher studies after they finish their graduation. But then they were challenged to set apart 1 year for a different experience. which they took or which they embraced happily, because it was a challenging experience for them. Always when I think, how can it help the church to be more missionary, the caption of full-timers training comes to my mind. A 40 days training, now it's 30. 1 year formation for a lifelong commitment. In fact, this formation is enriching the Catholic Church with committed missionaries. Hundreds of youngsters who have moved across the world after their formation year, looking for their job or doing their ministries in religious life, continue this mission among the youth and the families and children, strengthening in living their Catholic faith, strengthening in living their Catholic life, which ultimately strengthening the church in living out her missionary faith.
Thank you very much, Reggie. As you said, this is a 1-month training and a 1-year formation for a lifelong commitment. We see hundreds of young people continuing their life as missionaries wherever they are planted. So if any one of you listening to me now is inspired to answer a similar call and desire to experience the beauty of such a fellowship, do get in touch with us. So that's it for today, friends. Let's keep each other in prayer and stay crazy for God until we meet again next week for the same program on Shalom World. For more exciting contents, watch shalomworld.org and download the free apps of Shalom World on your iOS and Android devices. Thank you.
Someone who's used media a lot in evangelization, so I believe in the importance of Catholic radio, Catholic TV, Catholics using the new media. Can I encourage everyone to watch Shalom TV? I think it's a great vehicle of evangelization. And God bless all of you.